This is content intended for adults, not for puppies. Hey guys, we're back to more Under Heaven. Last time Under Heaven, what's the character's name? Julian. Julian, he went to work and he almost died or something. That's all that happened last episode, I assure you. My mouth is burning dry when I wake up. Sounds like things have kicked off. There's enough noise coming in that I doubt I'll be able to get back to sleep. I roll over and squint on my clock. It's about 10 or so. Feeling at least a little recovered, guess I can go looking for some water, or maybe a drink. It took a moment to pull my clothes on before pushing the door open. I think there's around 15, maybe 20 people, counting me and the rest of us living here, so it's pretty high energy for how small this place is. I find a smile and manage a few pleasantries at people I half recognize while I gingerly weave towards the kitchen. I think Alex is talking to one of his co-workers, and the guy over there is one of Amir's old buddies. He's cool. Lark's talking to a goat in an all-black ensemble leaning on a walker, but I don't think I know her. I'll have to ask later. Probably somebody in the exchange art scene I've only met virtually. As I finally reach the drinks table, I end up next to Alex just as he's saying goodbye to his co-worker. Guess they're calling it an early night. He brightens up when he spots me. Julian, Amir mentioned what happened. The whole situation sounds fucked. You doing okay? Hope we didn't wake you. On a better day, maybe I could pretend, but he sees the answer before I speak. I gesture gently to the loud music and noisy crowd. Alex looks embarrassed. Yeah, no, you got me there. Sorry, man. It's fine, don't get me wrong, the whole thing was pretty scary, but I'm feeling mostly better, physically at least. Still, probably gonna take it easy tonight. Makes sense. Want me to grab you a soda or something? Nah. I reach over him and carefully pluck one of the lagers. I think it's lagers. I like off the table, twisting off the bottle top. Just means I'm gonna pace myself a bit. My man. No promises not to take pictures when someone peels you off the floor later. Man, don't you dare. But seriously, though, I don't think I'm gonna be up for much. Probably for the best. You eaten yet? We have snacks and stuff set up in the living room. Or, I don't know, probably some of that pizza left over if you want some. Snacking's fine for now. Actually, I might get on that. Have fun. Unfortunately, getting to the snacks is easier said than done. Okay, this is fine. I just need to do a little maneuvering. Is this Julian? Is this the character? This is the character. I shuffle around the outside of the crowd, making my way towards... Acting as if the entire world we find ourselves in is a question without stakes. It's rank nihilism, and I won't stand for it. Oh good, then we better get to the bottom of this one, shouldn't we? But why stop there? What if everything is fake? What if we're all just brains in jars, Come, there's a bottomless well of intellectual sophistry with your name on it. Oh hell no. I'm not even getting involved in whatever this is. It's nonsensical, incessant, meaningless, philosophical posturing. It's nonsensical, incessant, philosophical posturing, Julian. You needn't pay any mind. I try to go unnoticed, inching around them towards the chips and dip. Julian, you can settle this for us. Fuck. People always catch the antlers. Amir, far enough down the table to be out of the line of fire and laying waste to some pretzels, shoots me a sympathetic glance. Next to him, the bowl of chips beckons, untouched. It's a simple question, really. What lies beyond the walls? What? Outside, past the dome encircling our fair city, past the walls of Megiddo. It's where the apocalypse is supposed to happen. Or Armageddon, rather. Our friend here demands an accounting of every molecule in the universe before they can decide whether or not any of them are worth their time. So please, do indulge them. Maybe if I'm lucky, the Earth will swallow me whole. Amir pipes up. I've never been more grateful for that man in my entire life. Call me boring, but I'm gonna go with the history class version. A real nasty bioweapon hit Earth. Harthin was already building some big underground facility for some spook shit, so a bunch of people with money or connections or whatever moved here. 100-some years later, Harthin's still running things, and here we are. Nobody enters, nobody leaves. Well, besides materials coming down the solar column and garbage going back up and out. And the latest update said, what, another 140 years before the surface is safe again? Then we can go outside and see sunny New Mezcal. New Mexico, they claim. But we could be anywhere. And it's 170, though I suppose if Harthin told you they could levitate up into the air, you'd believe that too. Excuse me? I interject before things can escalate. Well, I think it's... This has decisions? I wasn't expecting this to have decisions. What did they say? They were asking what's outside of the dome? Like, probably what Amir said. I don't know. What Amir said. I know it's not a very interesting answer. It's just the most likely. I mean, a conspiracy or whatever on that scale, from a logistics standpoint alone, it seems insane. Now that Julian says it like that, that makes it seem like there's definitely a conspiracy. Well, there you have it. Reality bitter and mundane tamps down our wildest imaginings. Resigned to our labors in the dreadfully unromantic confines of the post-American subterranean, we must imagine Sisyphus content. Ugh! You're not even taking this seriously. Here I stand, casting pearls before swine. Well, first of all, it's racist. Enough, I shan't endure this disrespect any longer. They storm towards the door, shoulder-checking Alex on the way, who seems more confused than anything. Jesus, what's their problem? Fixated on epistemological dilemma happens to the best of us. Anyway, what do you think is outside the dome? Dirt? Wait, no. Rocks? Right, this far down? I don't know, man. I'm not a geologist. And thus, the question is settled. I mean, if you're gonna do those sorts of party game questions, you should do the important ones, like... What would you do if you won the lottery? Oh, good. Crass materialism is definitely an interesting topic. It is if you're any good at it. I think I'm suddenly coming around on the merits of the last conversation. Lark plants themselves firmly, ready for the battles to come. They're also still between me and the snack table, if they could just scoot a little to the right. So let's see, after I've gotten a stayed up in the Reef, a personal chef, and Archer's VIP season tickets, I think a private car is next, right? Like you show up somewhere and you're already stunning on people. The desires which lurk within your innermost heart are grotesque. Honestly, you just get bored of it in all a week. Get bored of it all in a week. Man, whatever, think about it. I mean, really think about it. With that kind of money, you're out of the grind forever. You never have to work again. You never have to struggle again. You get to spend the rest of your life doing whatever you want, never having to yes sir anyone ever again. I'd give my left nut for that shit. Don't act like you wouldn't. I wouldn't. I like my left nut. I also like Julian's left nut, if we're keeping score. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I would simply commission a thermonuclear device and have it dropped on my boss like a normal person. I don't know about all that. I think I'd open a bar. Amir, you work in a bar, and you complain about it all the time. You could do anything in the world, and you just keep doing the same thing? Yeah, well, if I ran the place, it wouldn't be shit. What about you, Julian? Well, I mean, you already took the boss thing. I did. Vengeance is mine alone, saith the Lark. So, man, I don't know. It's not the sort of thing I have a plan laid out for. Boring. The question is stupid, but I'm still with him on this one. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, I guess. Though, if we've sorted out the universe for the evening, please move so I can get to the chips. I'm dying. Well, I for one need another drink after that exercise. Oh, me too. The group gradually breaks up. I am, at last, able to get something to eat, and I end up nursing a second beer to go with it. I catch up with a few old friends and maybe make the first steps towards some new ones. It's nice. It really has been a while since I relaxed properly. But at some point, the company goes from pleasant to overwhelming, and the pounding music starts making my head hurt. Maybe alcohol wasn't the best idea. Yeah, after almost frying your entire nervous system, probably not. That's like if you had a concussion and you started drinking or something. Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. I make my polite excuses and slip up to the relative quiet of the second floor, heading out past the bedrooms and onto the balcony. So they are just like living in like an entire dome. So what, is this like the wreath then? Is this the wreath? Where's the solar column? Where's the solar column at? Shouldn't it be like here? I guess it's like a simulated night sky. Interesting. It's only as I step out into the cool of that outdoors that I realize how warm it had been getting inside the house. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding, leaning against the railing. Oh, hey. Sorry, hope I'm not interrupting. You're good. Come on, sit a while. I oblige, lowering my bulky frame into one of the deck chairs. It's late enough that the stars are on. The stars are on. They slowly change which of the small, dome-embedded lights they illuminate each night. I look up to them about 3 miles away. I try to discern some order or pattern. It's all just noise. So I assume they're not, like, accurately recreating constellations or anything. How big is this dome? Like, how many kilometers? How many kilometers? How many miles? Just need a break from the crowd? Something like that. Maybe I'm still fucked up from work. He laughs ruefully, and I wince. I suppose he'd certainly know what that feels like. He takes a long drag from a cartridge in his hand and lets it out. The smell is smoky. Vapor that smells like smoke underlies lights that look like stars. My head swims with it for a moment. I feel strange, like I might fall and tumble down into nothingness. Catching my look, he holds up the cartridge. You can relax. I'm not looking to get fucked up or anything. It's just for the pain. Oh, right. I wasn't thinking you were, for what it's worth. No improvement with the new doctor, huh? First I thought it was in my head. This one thinks it's some leftover firmware shit after I got fried. I still think they might have messed up the surgery in the first place. Had a way slower recovery than you did. Stuck living with it either way, I guess. Maybe take another shot at some specialist when I can scrape together the cash, but... Sure would be easier to do that than implants I'm paying for fucking worked. Hell of a thing to sell your body and then end up in the bargain bin. The statement hangs over us. There isn't anything I can say that he hasn't heard 1,000 times before. That sucks. I'm sorry. I'm here for you. I hope it gets better. You don't want to hear that shit again. The helplessness of it all makes me feel stupid and childish. But I give it my best shot anyway. You deserve better. The corner of his lip quirks in a smile, maybe at the naivety of it, but it's something. Guess we all do. Well, it's true. Maybe doesn't do much good even if it is. The childish feeling lingers, mixes with frustration, becoming petulance. Petulance. Just what he needed, an opinion on justice from somebody whose background saved him from that kind of crippling debt. Delivered while holding the functioning implants and cushy employment that Amir all but sold his soul for and no longer has. Maybe seeing my expression, he reaches out and puts a hand on my thigh. Sorry, I'm being shitty. I get you. You're good people, Julian. Always have been. His paw lingers, heavy and warm. It's the second time that I've been touched today, but this time, I don't mind it at all. Only thing worse than being in the shit is being in it alone. So, I was gonna be glad I've got you and the rest. Even without. His eyes flick to the wall, to their once shared bedroom on the other side. Derek's absence. unspoken, weighs down on the conversation with terrible gravity. Amir withdraws, leans back in his chair, sighing and shaking his head. Nah, none of that. Not tonight, at least. What have you been up to? Tell me about whatever bullshit you and Locke have going on in the exchange. You've always got a good story. I sink back into my own chair, drawing in a deep breath as my gaze drifts upwards. Well, I've been working on this idea that involves digging through a bunch of pre-Exodus plants and animal records. We talk for a while, low and steady. I don't keep track of the time. Still, I can feel it pass. And tonight, that's another small thing I savor. Later on, Amir glances over his shoulder back into the house. The music stopped. I can see his gaze unfocused for a moment as he checks the time. I do too. It's getting so late. It's early. Probably about time to head in. He sighs, lifting himself up and moving, but stops to rest his hand on my shoulder. Feel like doing some cleanup? Guessing we're the only ones awake and sober at this point. May as well. We both head in, and Amir's prediction proves accurate. Somebody got Hilix hydrated and back into his room, where snore is alarmingly loud. Lark is either asleep or busy with a partner or two, judging from their locked door. Maybe with, what was her name? Ah, well. The house isn't as bad as it could be, honestly. There's a bit of residual stickiness from a spilled drink in the kitchen that takes a little elbow grease. Otherwise, it's just an amount of straight plates and glasses. Maybe more crumbs than usual for the next time somebody vacuums, but we leave that for tomorrow. Between the two of us, we make short work of it. Amir winces and stretches a bit as I gather up the last plates and start loading them. He's not big on bending over if he can help it. But he does give the counters a last wipe down as I start the dishwasher. I think that's the last of it? Should be. Everything that can't wait anyway. We head back up towards our bedrooms, trying not to move too loudly past Lark and Alex's rooms. Maybe it's the activity of moving around and cleaning up newly invigorating me, but I don't feel tired yet. Or, I guess I feel tired, but I don't feel ready to sleep. And judging by the way he lingers by his own open door as I'm about to pass by, I think Amir might feel the same way. Hey, Julian. You feel like visiting for a bit before turning in? Yeah, I think I'd like that. He smiles at me and steps in, and I follow into the Wolverine's room. That's what he is, a Wolverine. Pardon the mess. It doesn't seem that messy to me. The bed's not made, the laundry basket's pulled out of the closet, and a couple of shirts that didn't quite make it in lie next to it, but that's just living. You're good. Shirt hits the target successfully, as Amir strips it off and throws it into the basket. I let my eyes wander across his broad back, noting the dull orange of the streetlight outside reflected in his short, sleek fur. The line of Gen 2 ports down his spine mirror my own, the smooth action of his muscles broken up by inflexible metal. He smiles knowingly as he turns back to me. Come here, you. Amir is a rough kisser. It's nice. I let out a shuddering exhale into his mouth, my hands finding his sides for support. His paw pushes up under my shirt, ruffling against the grain of the fur, his fingers spread wide and grasping, taking hold as much of me as he can, as he softly growls into the kiss. I force my fingers back to my shirt, fumbling over the buttons but I feel alone and opening them one at a time down my front. I don't know what it is about the way that Under Heaven's written, but it's just so hard for me to read it for some reason. I didn't realize they were fucking, okay? No, nothing about their dynamic gave me that they were fucking. I guess Amir saying that he would miss Julian's left nut earlier kind of hinted at that, but like, I didn't realize these guys were fucking. How long is this scene? How long is this scene? Amir takes advantage of my arms being busy to embrace me, one paw sliding down to grip my rear. He pulls me against him and grinds his hips forward. He's at least half hard. How long is this scene? I am too. I break the kiss, as guys, it's the author's intention, okay? This is the artistic vision. The mere sex scene is the artistic vision. If I knew there was going to be a sex scene with Amir, would I still have made him British? Probably. Probably, I guess. I don't know if making him British makes it better or worse. I don't know. I break the kiss as I'm finally able to pull my jacket and shirt off. I ball them up and toss them vaguely in the direction of the closed door. With my back turned, he pulls me against him. The hardness of him presses up under my tail. This is a tail universe. One paw grips and squeezes at my chest, the other grabbing my hip, but not straying any deeper between my legs. He keeps teasing his fingers across, encircling but not quite taking up the growing bulge in my pants. Oh, come on. He laughs in my ear. Get him down and I'll think about it. I think I've seen this CG before. I think it's on the itch page. I comply, loosening my belt and pushing my pants and underwear down my thighs and legs. He's got his hands on me all the while, pulling me back against him. His thick fingers grasp my hip, anchoring me firmly. Okay, guys, I was basically going to show and just censor the entire fluff scene there, but I spent like 30 minutes editing it before I realized the entire thing is really just them fucking without much else going on. So to save my time as well as yours, we're just going to skip the rest of the scene. Thank you. If you'd like to see the full scene, you can play Under Heaven from itch.io. The takeaway is they are good buddies and also roommates. Cool. Actually, wait, there was this important part though. Fine. God, that's it. I can't tell how funny making him British is in retrospect. Not that British people are inherently funny, right? There's nothing funny about being British. I mean, there is. I don't know, being British is kind of funny, right? I don't think I've ever imagined a British person. I don't think I've ever imagined a British person in a sexual in a sexual context before. I don't think I've ever imagined a British person having sex, now that I think about it. Does Blythe count? Does Blythe count? He has like a Welsh voice actor. That's technically British. But don't the Welsh and like the Scottish and the Irish, don't they like want to not to be British or something? Because there's a difference between English and British. I don't know. Yeah, I've never really imagined British people in a sexual context, nonetheless. Actually, that's not true. I've never imagined English people in a sexual context. But I've definitely imagined Welsh, Irish, and Scottish people in a sexual context. Not British people, though. Huh. Anyway, my hand grasps both of us, and I thrust against him. Okay, now here's the part where I rant about sex scenes in media for like 5 minutes or so. Thank you. Sick fingers ruffle up my neck, hanging on as if for support as we subside against each other. God. Yeah. Thanks, needed that. Same. Like, I don't know. And it's weird, because I wonder, like, because, okay, sometimes media has sex scenes, but the sex scenes aren't necessarily meant to be arousing. They're just meant to, like, sort of, like, communicate something about the story or communicate something about, like, a dynamic between the characters. So whenever I heard that Under Heaven had, like, a lot of sex scenes, and that the sex scenes were apparently so integral to the plot and narrative, that the creator said, like, if you skip the sex scenes, it's not, like, an authentic experience to, like, the novel. How did I start that sentence? Anyway, I wasn't sure if those sex scenes, like, are they all, I don't know. Do I think that sex scene was integral to the plot? Not necessarily. Do I think that sex scene was integral to the plot? Not necessarily. Do I think... Okay, but, like, I don't know, it's weird. Because, again, like I said earlier, not all sex scenes are supposed to be arousing. But also, if the sex scene isn't arousing, what's the point? Like, I don't know. Like, in 99%, 99 might be high. In 80%, no, 86% of the visual novels I read that have, like, sex scenes in them, I don't find, like, the sex scenes arousing at all. I just find them awkward, and I'm waiting for them to be over. So, like, most of the time, like, if there's a sex scene in a visual novel, I don't find it hot or arousing. But again, sometimes that's not always the point of the sex scene. Sometimes the point of the sex scene isn't to be hot and arousing. Sometimes it's supposed to, you know, just, like, communicate something about the story or the characters or whatever. But if it's not hot and arousing, then the sex scene, it's just kind of, like, boring and awkward, you know? Right? And I didn't hate reading that scene. But also, it was sort of like, it was definitely closer to being, like, boring and awkward, more so than being, like, actually hot, right? You know what I mean? But again, sometimes the sex scenes aren't meant to be actually hot. But there wasn't really a lot going on in that sex scene besides sex, right? But because I didn't really find the sex, like, hot or arousing or anything, not necessarily because the sex scene itself wasn't hot, but because, like, the context of the story, the context and how I'm being, like, introduced to these characters didn't really make me want to see them have sex yet, right? I don't know, the scene didn't come across as, like, interesting in an arousing way to me, but also the scene didn't really come across as that, like, interesting from, like, a story and narrative perspective either. So, like, I don't know. We're gonna do a tier list. Not a tier list. Tier lists are boring. Tier list starts 2021, and we're doing a ranking. That was, like, I don't know. We're doing a ranking out of 10. That sex scene, from now on, every sex scene I have to read in the visual novel, we're giving it a ranking. That one was, I don't know, that one was, like, I don't want to put it 5 out of 10. That feels bad. Okay, like, it was well written. Was it well written? I feel like it was kind of short, right? Like, I feel like if I was actually trying to, like, enjoy that sex scene from, like, an arousing perspective, like, it would have been too short for me, you know? Like, if I was actually trying to, like, be aroused by that sex scene, right, quote-unquote, be aroused, that would have been too short for me, you know? It was kind of short. And it, like, had a bit of build-up, but not a lot. It had a bit of build-up to it. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing with me, is that, like, sex scenes, they're a lot more arousing to me if there's, like, build-up. If there's, like, teasing and, like, alluding to it beforehand. But Julian and Amir, they were just kind of like, hey, we're kind of bored, let's fuck, you know? And that's not really, like, the most arousing premise to me personally, right? Like, the more exciting sex scenes to me are the ones where you're, like, looking forward to them over the course of, like, the entire narrative. Right? And it's like, fuck yeah, they're actually fucking now, right? We finally get to see these bitches fuck, right? But this one, it was just kind of like, hey, bro, let's do sex, you know? So, I don't know. I don't want to put it at a 5 out of 10, but also, like, I want to put it at a, like, it wasn't, I don't know. I guess the way these out of 10 scales work is, like, 5 out of 10 is, like, extremely average, and then once you go below 5, you start getting into the, like, it was bad territory, but anything above 5 is, like, good. Like, I don't know, I guess it's a 6 out of 10. Like, the art was good, but again, but at the same time, I don't want to, like, judge the sex scene purely by, like, the art. I don't want to judge, like, the sex scene purely by the art accompanying it. That kind of feels like cheating, right? Right, that kind of feels like selling an emotional moment purely through the music. So I don't want to, like, judge it too heavily based on the art. The art was nice. It was nice art. But, like, in terms of, like, how the sex scene was actually written, right, in terms of how arousing it was, and how much, like, new information I got about the characters and their dynamic with each other. I don't know, it's like a 6 out of 10. I don't feel like talking about it anymore. That's as much as I feel like saying about the sex scene. The Julian x Amir sex scene, chapter 1 of Under Heaven, it's a 6 out of 10. It's fine, I guess. Right, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We take a moment longer, catching our breaths together until my thighs start to burn. And it was kind of boring, too. Okay, like, I like frauding. Like, I have, like, a kink for frauding. I feel like more than other people. I feel like a lot of people would see frauding and just think it's boring, but I kind of have a frauding kink. But even me having a frauding kink, that was just kind of whatever, you know? Like, I don't know. It's kind of whatever. Like, I feel like that was a really run-of-the-mill sex scene. I feel like that was a really run-of-the-mill sex scene. Like, at the beginning, when Amir was doing the, like, handlebars bit, that was kind of funny, right? That was kind of interesting. But then they sort of moved away from that really fast. And then it was just frauding. I don't know. Are there a lot of other visual novels with frauding scenes? Isn't that the first sex scene in Adastra? Isn't the first sex scene in Adastra a frauding scene? I don't know, like, I like frauding. But even me, with, like, a frauding kink, I didn't really care for that scene that much. Anyways, this ran over. We take a moment longer, catching our breaths together until my thighs start to burn. Alright, hang on, just gonna... I swing my leg over and find the floor, daring to test my weight on both legs. Then wince noticeably, drawing a chuckle from Amir. Feeling that stretch? Yeah, well, worth it. Want me to just grab one of the bathroom towels? Yeah, fuck it, I'm doing laundry tomorrow anyway. I step briefly into the ensuite and grab one, doing my best to clean my own dick off. Looks like I didn't get much anywhere elsewhere. Following the towel up, I walk to where Amir's got one hand, preventing anything from dripping down his stomach onto the bed. Man, between the two of us, we really did pump out quite a bit. Nice. Amir still seems a little out of it, so I just reach down and start wiping him off. Oh, thanks. I do my level best, getting a slight shiver out of him when I grasp the dab at the dripping. Woof. But I'm sure I missed some. I end up just giving him the towel before clapping a hand on his shoulder. Alright, well, I need to go pass out. God, what time even is it? Late. Well, thanks again, that was fun. You have a good one, Julian. Always. I bunch up my pants, then grab my shirt and jacket and add them to the bundle. I crack the door open just an inch, peeking out into the hall. It's only a few steps to my door. You going streaking? Man, shut up. His quiet chuckle follows me as I dart out, keeping my steps light and doing my best to carefully close the door behind me without a sound. As silly as it is, there's something transgressive and freeing in the short dash to my room. I open and shut my door with the same quick care. My clothes land carelessly in the laundry. I'll deal with everything else tomorrow. I roll over onto my bed, too overstimulated and overheated to want to crawl under the covers just yet. The warm, companionable glow of the whole evening settles somewhere in me, where I try to hold it close to me and never let it leave. The day flashes through me, all the frustration and stress and terror and pain and solitude and friendship and pleasure, all mingled together, indistinguishable. My mind won't settle, and I think on it all. On Mark's thoughtful, focused questioning of me, of everything, on Alex's simple joy of living. On Amir, rough and dependable and so terribly resigned. And on Derek, loved by Amir, missing now, missed by him. My wandering mind returns to Lark's questions in the exchange. My frustration with my own art, the tinkering and manipulation of it, without quite finding its purpose, still itches at me. And what would I do if I won the lottery anyway? Tiredness weighs my limbs against the bedspread. Nothing that I feel or think can find the shape of an answer, whatever the real question is, the one I'm silently asking myself. Huh. See, guys, the solution... The solution is that you never think about everything, or you never think about anything. You decide the answer to all of life's questions when you were 18, and you never change your mind, right? Then you never have to think about anything ever again, right? That's the meta. That's how you're supposed to do it. I don't know the question. I don't have an answer. I have only a wish. Please, let this place, these people. Let everything and everyone here that is so dear to me. Let them be safe. Huh. Now we have a protagonist, right? Now Julian's a protagonist. Right, after saying something like that, Julian is, like, fated to change the world in some way, right? Beforehand, he was just Julian, but then he uttered that line, right? Then he thought that line to himself. Okay, now he's a protagonist, right? Now he's fated to change the world somehow. Let them be well. Half of my dreams, the wish rises from me. Lifting from our small house, the drift and linger amid the false stars. My eyes are closed before I can see whether it will be granted. The next... Is this still chapter 1? It'll probably tell me when chapter 1's over, right? Is this still chapter 1? The next few days are uneventful. Work, mercilessly, has calmed down a bit by the time I get back. I'm only on 4 drones today, pretty much all sanitation. I can take my time. That gives me enough spare bandwidth to sideload an audiobook. So weird. It's a fantasy novel, following this dog raised in the kingdom of wolves, who's in the process of becoming a knight. Right up until when she... Huh, weird. This dog raised in the kingdom of wolves, who's in the process of becoming a knight, right up until when she... A dog raised in the kingdom of wolves. I wonder if this is a reference to something. It's always hard to tell with media, right? It's always hard to tell when media is making a reference to other real-world media, or when it's actually just, like, discussing a piece of media that only exists in the text. Like, is this referencing something in particular? I don't know. This dog raised in the kingdom of wolves. Like, is everyone a wolf? How'd she get there? How did the dog get there? Are they, like, mean to her because she's a dog? Are the wolves mean to her because she's a dog, or do they not care? What kind of dog, right? Is she like a husky, a Malamute? Is she a breed of dog where it's not really that distinguishable between wolves as much as if she was like another dog? What if she's like a terrier, you know? What if she's a pit bull? Maybe she's a golden retriever, a Labrador. Maybe she's a Chihuahua. My headcanon is that this dog, she's a Chihuahua. Huh? Weird. Shouldn't have been a power issue or anything. That drone had a decent amount of charge left. Russell, one of the drones just dropped out. One of the smaller ones. A detail scrubber. It was on, let's see, Eustace Street. It's right near my place. Julian, I've warned you about running the drones for too long at low power. Christ. Take a look at the logs. I don't think it was that. Anyway, I'll get a ticket in with maintenance and retrieval. Wait. Let's not bother them if we don't need to. Did you say it was near where you live? Have a bad feeling about this. So is he just going to, like, temporarily dismiss him from work to go get to the drone? Yeah, like a block away, but repair isn't really my... And it was a detail scrubber, right? Big guy like you could carry that easy. Don't call me that. Yes, but... Well, you've been working hard. Why don't you take off early? Just grab it on the way home and bring it with you on your next shift. Oh, well, that's kind of nice, right? I don't think I can say that Russell is nice after the sins he's committed, but that's kind of nice, right? It's kind of nice. Now I get it. He thinks he can fix it and doesn't want the dropout to show on his metrics. Okay, Russell, I won't file a ticket, but I'm still logging that it dropped out. That, of course, yes, that makes sense. He sounds annoyed. Well, I'm not taking the fall if this doesn't work out. But I won't turn down getting out early either. Sounds like a plan. I'm pulling out then. I'll see you later. Of course. I wonder what's going to happen on his way there. Maybe someone is sneaking. Maybe someone was wanting to sneak into the place where the drone was cleaning. But they had to destroy the drone so that the drone couldn't see what they were doing or something. I don't know. I engaged the disconnect, passing control of my remaining drones back into the queue. Full consciousness is a welcome relief. I still don't understand how this system works. So is his consciousness being, like, injected into the drones? Or is, like, the data feed from the drones being wirelessly injected into his consciousness? I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, really. It might just be semantics. Eustace is only a block away from home. I've got the coordinates where the drone went down overlaid on the map from my mobile interface, so it should be pretty simple to find. It's one of the big quarterly rains. Schedules will run for the entire day. Arbitrary rain. I'm dressed appropriately with an umbrella, but some water still managed to seep into my socks. Are the ports waterproof? The ports are probably waterproof, right? Still, even if I have the location, the drone's not very big. It docks with one of the larger street cleaners. Just handles statuary and gutters, that sort of thing. For all the rain making my feet damp, at least it made cleaning a bit easier. Just had to hit the things the rain alone can't handle. I reached the point where we lost contact and... nothing. Maybe some kids broke it and stole it? Or someone from the well went looking for easy scrap. I'd be surprised if that happened around here, so far from the elevator, but I've read the articles about people climbing up. So he's implying that someone from one of the lower levels, like, came up and like, took the drone or something because they wanted some scrap? Interesting. Always sound like bullshit scare stories for people living in the Wreath, but what do I know? Desperate people do desperate things, I guess. I really don't feel like dealing with however Russell's going to play this if I can't find it. I scan my surroundings, but it's hard to make out much through the heavy rain. Something catches my eye in the nearby alleyway. I step towards it and take a closer look. My gasp chokes me and I freeze. There's a person. They're bleeding. They're lying so... They're lying so still. Hey, are you alright? I hurry over and crouch down, touching their shoulder. Hey buddy, come on, can you hear me? ... Shit. I scrambled to make a call through my interface, my heart pounding in my throat. You've reached Megiddo Emergency. Hey, I'm right here near Eustace and Elm in an alleyway. I've got someone down and injured. They're not... We're experiencing higher than normal call volumes. Your call is important to us. You're currently number 22 in the queue. If you have a priority queue ID, please enter it. God damn it. I kill the call and quickly make another one. Amir, fucking pick up. Julian, what? I'm like a block away. I'm sending my location. Grab the first aid kit and get over here as fast as you can. I've got somebody injured. Shit, okay, I'm on my way. See you soon. I strap on my raincoat and try to wrap it as hard as I can around the guy's arm. He's wearing a hospital gown? The front's stained with blood and sodden with rain. He's got blood on his other hand, too. He must have been trying to put pressure on his wounds before he passed out. I do my best to compress his arm. The rain beats down on me. I look up. And flinch against the harsh headlights of the approaching... No, wait. Surely that's not... It has to be. It's the drone I was looking for. The drone that I was controlling. It's looking right at me. It shouldn't be here. It's not out of power, and there shouldn't be connection issues around here unless it wasn't moved. Unless it moved under its own power, while I was supposed to be controlling it. That's not possible. Just as soon as that thought occurs to me, it shuts down. the headlights dimming to standby. Spoopy. I didn't just imagine that, did I? But before I can linger on it, I hear approaching footsteps. Huh, so the drone went rogue for a second? I wonder why the drone would go rogue. Maybe there's a developing super intelligence, right? Maybe the reason the drone went rogue is that there's a developing super intelligence hiding somewhere in the dome that is trying to reach and extend its authority by taking over wireless devices. And that's why the drone went rogue for a second. But before I can linger on it, I hear approaching footsteps. Julian, where's... What the fuck? Don't just stand there, where's the injury? It's the arm here, I tried to wrap it. Amir and Lark hurry close and kneel. Lark opens the first aid kit as Amir gently unwraps my coat and winces at the damage. God, did someone go after him with their teeth? He's in for some ugly scars. Let me just see if I can clean it. Aren't we not supposed to move him? Did you call emergency? I tried, they put me on hold. Well, what if whoever did this is still around? We need to call the police. And I'm sure they'll be of great help shooting him in his arm. And I'm sure they'll be of great help in shooting his arm back together. Amir, hold him steady. Julian, I need you to help me with the skin. What? Some of these bigger gashes, you need to hold the wound closed. Lark removes the wound sealant from the kit, popping the cap off. Or I guess the drone could have just attacked him? I guess this person probably escaped from whatever hospital they were in. But whatever shadow cabal didn't want this person escaping. So they, hijacked the drone. The drones of which have secret, combat capabilities. So they, hijacked the drone and used it to, attack him. To try and, stop him from escaping. But they couldn't let the secret of whatever, conspiracy is going on be enlightened to the public. So that's why the drone shut down whenever Julian arrived. Or something like that. I don't know. Lark removes the wound sealant from the kit, popping the cap off. Right, shit. I drove closer to the stranger. A wolf? Take his arm into my hand. I don't know how to tell how serious the injury is. There's so much blood and something. Julian, if you can't do it, then step back. I blink and realize I feel faint. Fuck, I'm sorry. Be sorry later, step back. Amir, get his arm. I shuffle back ashamedly, letting the two of them tend to the stranger while Alex keeps lookout and paces nervously. My injured pride isn't what matters right now, but my ears burn with my own uselessness. At least I made the call, I guess. My eyes are unfocused, swinging around, looking anywhere but at the man. They alight on the drone, and the sight of it steadies me. While they're busy, I step over to where it's downed. Did I really see what I thought I saw? ... I reach out through the mobile interface. I can get at least limited connectivity to the drone wirelessly, and I'm relieved to find my login works. But there's nothing there, no explanation. The logs have been wiped clean. Okay, got the diagnostic back from his interface. I think we're safe to move him. His arm's going to be the least of his concerns if we just leave him in the rain. Julian, can you help? Yeah, sorry again. It's fine. Here, get his other side. I leave the drone for now. I'll come back for it later. Together we manage to lift the stranger, and the 4, now 5 of us start heading back to the house. But even beyond the oddity with the drone and the frustration at my own freezing up, I'm bothered. Maybe it's just my imagination, but... that wolf, I can't shake the feeling. Why does he look so familiar? Alright guys, that was Chapter 1 of Under Heaven. Whenever I was recording this, I didn't actually realize this was where Chapter 1 ended, but I think that that's a good place to end the episode. Under Heaven has been really cool so far, so I can't wait to see where else it goes in like chapter 2 and everything. So yeah, thanks for watching.